Welcome to the program. We are receiving reports that a boat has capsized on River Miriu, and so far 6 people are confirmed dead. The boat was ferrying people from Nyakach to Kabondo. Details are still scanty, but we have dispatched our Kisumu crew to the scene of the accident, and we will give you that information as we continue to receive it. That is news just in. We are receiving reports that a boat has capsized on River Miriu, and so far 6 people are confirmed dead. The boat was ferrying people from Nyakach to Kabondo. Details of the accident are still scanty, but we have dispatched our Kisumu crew to the scene of the accident, and we will give you that information as we continue to receive it. Now, today marks the 70th day of the ongoing doctors' strike, and yesterday we received reports that talks with doctors mediated by KOTU and the Kenya National Human Commission on Human Rights are yet to bear fruit. The talks are being led by KOTU Secretary General Francis Atwoli. Atwoli has assured the court that he will ensure that an amicable solution is found to end the crisis in the health sector within 2 weeks. That deadline ends on Tuesday, the 14th of February. The Jubilee leadership is challenging opposition leader and CORD principal Raila Odinga to come out clean and respond to allegations that he has been receiving bribes from the Dominion farms. According to Majority Leader in the National Assembly, Aden Duale, and Jubilee Chairman Raphael Tuju, Raila used his position as Prime Minister to collect millions of shillings from Dominion farms under the guise that he would protect their interests in the country. They supported the claims made by American investor Calvin Burgess on Wednesday. The leaders also want the ESCC and the DPP, as well as the CID, to commence investigations on the claims that other members of the Odinga family could also be involved.
And today, Honorable Raila Odinga has not spoken, so we want to know the role of Raila Odinga and his relatives in this Dominion farm scandal. You know, I don't come from CIA. I don't know where the Dominion farms are. But at least the man sitting next to me is a native of Siaya County. At least I have a living example next to me. So we want to know, you know, we don't want to hear. We want Raila Odinga, the way he calls press conferences in his house, at his office in Upper Hill, we want him to call a press conference and clear the air. I challenge him. Challenge him, please. After you receive Ali Makwere, I'm told, at the border between Tanzania and Kenya, you will still have 1 million questions to us. So tomorrow come, tell us what, answer the questions put to you. Number 2, Mr. Kelvin has confirmed that Raila Odinga has extorted money from the Dominion farms. Not once, not twice. And we want Raila Odinga to either clarify or confirm whether he has ever extorted money from this American investor.
We therefore dare Raila Odinga and his sidekicks to clarify the following. That 105 million shillings was paid to a shady Indian company, Godvari Enterprises, to conduct a feasibility study, and the money ended up in the pockets of ODM luminaries. This week, Siaya County government removed references to this company from its website. Such removal does not alter the facts. Similar corrupt deals are written all over ODM-controlled counties, including colossal amount of money spent on trips abroad, ostensibly to woo foreign investors.
Kits and more than 300 photocopied original ID cards were yesterday recovered at the Masla Lodge in Isili. This followed a tip-off to the police from the residents. 4 suspects were arrested in connection to the incident.
The sound of gunshots filled the air last night at the Pangani police station after angry Eastleigh residents stormed the station following reports that BVR kits and important documents used in mass voter registration had been found at a lodge in Eastleigh. The residents stormed the station seeking to lynch 4 suspects who had been arrested carrying out the exercise. When KTN News arrived at the scene, the suspects had been arrested and the fake ID cards used in registration were in police custody. The suspects were arrested after a tip-off from wananchi.
Tulipata hizo mfununu, tukafuatilia siku 3 tuliyopita, tukaleta ripoti, toka hapo Pangani police station, tukafuatilia, tukafika hadi za leo. Tumefika iko kwa nyumba gani, tukakuja ku report, tukachukua polisi, tukaenda kwa ile nyumba, tukapata ID 350, copy ya ambapo print out ambapo ameandikwa zaidi ya watu 1000 kadhaa.
According to the residents, the exercise had been ongoing for 1 week, and those registered are believed to be foreigners with fake Kenyan IDs.
Ile kitu tumepata ni hizi vitabu ambaye wamejaribu kuregister, ambaye ni jina, namba ya simu na namba ya IDs, ambaye hatujui kama tayari wameweka kwa hiyo system zao ama nini. Na hizi pia ni hizo forms ambaye pia wamejaribu kuzirecord, hii ni telephone numbers, hii ni ID numbers na hizi ni majina.
Investigations into the matter are ongoing. Caroline B, KTN News.
All right, we're also receiving reports that IEBC CEO Ezra Chiloba is currently at the Pangani police station in connection to those investigations. We'll be bringing you live coverage when he is ready to speak to the media. Now, Kilifi Women Representative Aisha Jumwa is asking the NASA principals to maintain their unity until the August general election. Jumwa says that Kenyans will judge harshly any of the leaders who breaks ranks with NASA to pursue personal political interests. She was addressing wananchi in Malindi town.
Tuko ndani ya NASA, tunatambua juhudi zao wana NASA, na mimi nataka kusema hivi, nyinyi principals wa NASA, nyinyi vinara waine wa NASA, Raila, Kalonzo, Wetangula na Mudavadi, tunataka kuambia hivi, yule yoyote ambaye atatusaliti kwa sababu zake na tamaa zake, basi nawaambia Wakenya tunamsubiri hapa nje. Tunawasihi muwe pamoja na yale yanayozungumzwa katika maredio na magazeti, iwe ni habari tu, lakini kusitokee ukweli, kwa sababu huo ni usaliti wa hali ya juu ambao Wakenya wanawategemea, na wewe upeleke tumbo lako na tamaa zako kusaliti Wakenya. Kwa hivyo mshike pamoja na sisi tuko nyuma yenu.
To matters dogs now, and did you know that a dog sniffing out bombs, explosive or narcotics has absolutely no interest in the explosives or the drugs? Well, such dogs are only looking for their favorite toy. Detection canines are trained to associate their favorite toy with a particular scent. Rita Tinina now tells us what it takes to train a detection and guard dog.
Sights and sounds that would send one on a 100-meter sprint. Trained guard dogs that are nothing like your adorable pet dog. Then there are those which do not have that menacing look and are smaller in size, but which have the ability to sniff out the slightest of explosive and narcotic scents. To get a fully trained guard or detector dog takes time and effort. At the KK K9 Operations Center in Nairobi, the process begins here. The maternity kennels. Puppies are born and bred here. This litter, the latest arrival, just days old. In about 8 weeks, they will move to a kennel for older puppies, such as Turbo, who's only a year old, before the training begins after they are weaned by their mothers. For detection of sniffer dogs, Belgian Shepherds, German Shepherds, Labradors, and English Springer Spaniels make the best detection canines. Here, Springer Spaniels Fiona and Mombi have begun their training.
Mombi, sit.
It starts with a game, but this is not your ordinary game of fetch. Initially, it helps Fiona and Mombi in exposure to the environment and teaches them obedience, such as to come when called, stop barking, or sit and stay still.
Stay.
As they learn obedience, they play with a ball that has no scent, but which will eventually make all the difference in detection work.
These dogs work and they have such possession for toys, which in this case is a tennis ball. It's nice and chewy, and is what we associate with the smell of an explosive. So when they find this scent, it is what they will get as a reward.
The game of fetch builds the dog's ball drive, such that the dogs which develop a possession for the ball will do anything to get their favorite toy, after which they will move to the next step of training, scent imprinting.
Where you put the ball and the scent and associate the two, so when the puppy finds the scent with its nose, it knows it's going to get the ball.
The ball, which is laced with the scent, is then hidden and the dogs retrieve it. With time, it is hidden in more and more difficult places. Each time they retrieve the ball, they are praised and rewarded.
And you reward the ball, and the dog should not know where that ball has come from. They would always imagine the ball has come from the source of the scent.
Dogs have one of the sharpest senses of smell. Fiona and Mombi will be exposed to 6 explosive scents.
And we also train them to identify the scents individually and as blends when they're mixed. You have to remember that improvised devices can be made from any of these combinations or homemade compounds.
For now, they are just going through the paces. But Alfie, a Spain Springer Spaniel, has gone through the drill and is an expert in this game of association. He has learnt the scent of 6 explosives and has been taught to sit still when he sniffs out any of them.
The importance of this is that this scent or this explosive could be rigged as a booby trap, and any movement or activity from the dog might trigger this explosive.
Here, one of the explosive scents is hidden in what would in real life be a crevice. He does not disappoint. In this car, handlers hide another explosive scent. Alfie takes just seconds to sniff it out. It takes at least 3 months to train.
All right, let's revisit our previous story where BVR kits and more than 300 photocopied original ID cards were yesterday recovered at the Masla Lodge in Isili. This followed a tip-off to the police from the residents. 4 suspects were arrested in connection to the incident. And as we speak, IEBC CEO Ezra Chiloba is at the Pangani police station in connection to the incident. Let's cross over there and listen in to what he has to say.
Voter transfers. It has become a case where leaders are choosing voters and not voters choosing leaders. That is not democracy, and that's not what IEBC is working for. And I believe that many Kenyans do not want to see these cases. So having learned from phase 1 of mass voter registration exercise, this time around, the Commission centralized all the transfer applications at the constituency level. And that decision has helped to manage the pressure of managing transfers that are happening at the registration centers across the country. However, for us to really succeed, we need some high level of public vigilance over the matter. A case like this one is an example that we can use, that the Commission is only going to succeed in ensuring that only eligible voters are being registered and that people are transferring the electoral areas out of will, but not out of undue influence. So we call upon the public to be vigilant and report any incidents that are happening within their communities in as far as registration is concerned. At this point, we also want to assure the country that the process of registration and transfer of voters is very clear. With regards to registration, the Commission uses BVR kits to capture the fingerprints, image and other details of the applicants during application process. At the end of the day, the information is transferred in an encrypted format into a flash disk, that can only be decrypted or be read once the flash disk is received at our regional servers or at the headquarters in Nairobi. The BVR kits are not used during the transfer applications. What happens during the transfer applications is that individuals just fill the forms, but the process of entering that data in the system happens much later. Now, I want to also clarify on other issues on behalf of the Commission. The Commission wishes to encourage all eligible Kenyans to register as voters, as we only have 3 days remaining. And in doing so, please remember that all persons who have never registered as voters from November 19th up to now and are eligible to register to do so by presenting valid documents and themselves to the registration officers. Waiting cards cannot be used to register voters. The only documents that are valid is either the national identification card or a valid passport. The legal provision that allowed waiting cards to be used for registration was actually expunged following the Election Laws Amendment Act of 2017. And those who had registered using passports in 2012 and their passports have since expired, we just want to remind you that you need to visit our registration centers to update the details of your registration. That means you must change the details of the identification document you used. This is because expired passports will not be used during voting. On our part as a Commission, we have deployed over 25,000 personnel across the country who are waiting to serve all eligible Kenyans. We have also deployed over 8,000 kits and opened universities and colleges and Huduma centers to ensure that as much as possible eligible Kenyans are registered as voters. So ladies and gentlemen, that is what we wanted to share with you. There's no cause for alarm. The investigations on the matter at hand are ongoing, and we hope that necessary action is going to be taken, and hopefully as soon as tomorrow, with the evidence that we have, those suspects must be arraigned in court. Thank you very much.
Two questions. Are you able then to account for all the BVR kits that were deployed to the northeastern region following the allegations that were made yesterday? And number two, there have been requests, calls for maybe a slight extension to cater for the people who have waiting cards and have not yet acquired their original identity cards following the application process. Is that something that IEBC is considering, bearing in mind that voter registration is a continuous process?
With your first question, we can assure you that we are able to account for the BVR kits that we have in every region across the country. For the ones that got lost during the Arabia attack, we've not been able to trace them. And to ensure that voters in that particular region are actually enabled to register, we're able to deploy other kits to be able to serve that purpose. For your second question, the Commission is on record that we do not intend to extend registration beyond 14th of February. So you only have 3 days, and we want you to ensure that you take this as the only opportunity for you to be able to register. There will be no extension as far as the Commission is concerned this far. What's your name, sir? I've just responded to that. The claim of lost BVR, this is in relation to the Arabia ward in Mandera East constituency, and that was last week. Yeah, so there were 3 BVR kits that we lost during that particular incident, and we replaced them for the registration to continue. There's no way that a stranger can use those BVR kits to register voters. And there's no way that that data can get into our system through any other means that other than the known protocol that we've established. Yeah.
Just from me, please.
Okay. Are you a journalist? Yeah. Okay, first of all, I'm dealing with the media. Okay. so we'll deal with that. Okay.
I'm Rajab Abdul Kadir, Radio KFM. There is allegations that a lock was recovered yesterday concerning this issue that you have just addressed right now, and the lock is suspected to have to be for a BVR machine. Have you been briefed about the same? And if not, there are some pictures that were on social media of the same.
One of the things I can tell you that I've worked with the police here, and Madam is here, can also explain. The evidence that we have so far relates to a number of items that were actually obtained during the raid, and these are photocopying and printing machines, colored cartridges, voter transfer forms, that 3 of them having been duly filled, 83 copies of national identification cards, 1 original acknowledgement slip, and 1 ledger book and notebook filled with names of individuals. From the list, as you can see, there is no evidence of any BVR-related item. And as we've also said, is that investigations are continuing. I've seen the images being posted, and I was telling Francis Gashuri this morning, out of the pictures that he sent me, there was none that indicated a BVR machine. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Tell Kenyans to register, please. Let's deal with that because that's an...
IBC CEO Ezra Chiloba there at the Pangani police station, where 4 suspects have been arrested in connection to the recovery of BVR kits and more than 300 photocopied original ID cards in Isili area yesterday. Ezra Chiloba there saying investigations are ongoing and that this could possibly be related to the Al-Shabaab attack on a police base in Mandera earlier last week, where 3 BVR kits also went missing. And of course, the IBC CEO there, they're lauding residents of Isili for tipping off the police and urging a high level of public vigilance to ensure that they help IBC to ensure that all those registered are eligible to vote. All right, you're watching a Weekend at 1. We take a short break now, but don't go too far. We'll be back with sports news and more. Well, it is on that sporting note that we wrap up this edition of Weekend at 1. Thank you for staying with us. Our sign language interpreter is William Sila. My name is Michelle Ngele. You have a wonderful afternoon.